Welcome to another Deep Dive AI. It's everywhere these days.
Yeah.
And, it can seem a little overwhelming, a little bit like, whoa, where do we even start?
Right.
So luckily, you sent us this awesome document called Simplifying Artificial Intelligence, a Beginner's Guide. And we thought, hey, let's unpack it together.
Yeah. Jump right in,
Exactly. AI seems like, kind of like this mysterious force. But really, it's already all around us, right?
Right. It really is. It's already woven into, so many parts of our daily lives. It's pretty wild when you think about it.
Absolutely. But before we get ahead of ourselves, let's back up a sec. What exactly is AI? How do we define it?
Well, the formal definition, the textbook version, is that AI is a branch of computer science.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, it's about creating machines that can do things that usually require human smarts, understanding language, recognizing patterns, making decisions, all that jazz.
So instead of hard coding all the rules for every situation, we're teaching computers to learn and adapt, on their own.
Exactly. And the guide we're looking at, it has this great analogy. Imagine you're teaching a kid to spot different animals. You show them pictures, right?
Mm-hmm.
They might make mistakes at first, but eventually they start picking up on the patterns, right? A giraffe has a long neck. A zebra has stripes. AI works kind of like that, learning from data to recognize patterns and make decisions.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. So the data is the building blocks for the AI.
You got it.
Okay, but hold on. The guide also mentions different types of AI. Can we get into that?
Yeah, absolutely. So think of it like a spectrum, right?
Yeah.
On one end, we've got what we call narrow AI. That's basically AI that's good at one specific task, super focused, and that's actually the most common type of AI we use today. Spam filters, keeping our inboxes clean, or those virtual assistants that we ask a million questions a day.
Right, like Siri and Alexa.
Exactly, totally. And then on the other end of that spectrum, we have general AI. And that's where things get a little more, sci-fi. This is the kind of AI that we see in movies, right? It can do any intellectual task a human can do.
Okay, so that's like human level intelligence in a machine.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then there's this even more mind-blowing concept called superintelligence.
Right.
This is AI that surpasses human capability in every way. It's beyond us.
Okay, so spaceships and robots taking over the world.
Yeah, maybe eventually, who knows? Right now, though, that's still pretty theoretical. We're not quite there yet. But, those ideas, they raise some interesting questions about, where AI might go, what's possible.
Yeah, for sure. So for this deep dive, are we sticking to the more practical side of AI, the stuff that's already out there impacting our lives?
Yeah, exactly. And to really understand how it works, the guide breaks it down into three main parts: data, algorithms, and computation, the key ingredients.
Okay, so let's break those down a bit more. Data, algorithms, computation. What do those even mean, when we're talking about AI?
All right, so think of data as the raw material AI learns from, the fuel,
Okay.
Then algorithms, those are the rules of the game, the set of instructions that guide the AI. It tells it how to process that data, how to find patterns, how to make decisions.
So it's kind of like, algorithms are like the recipe, and the data is the ingredients.
Exactly. And then computation, well, that's just the horsepower. It's the computing power you need to churn through all that data and run those complex algorithms.
Makes sense. So baking a cake, you need ingredients, a recipe, and an oven to bring it all together.
Yeah, that's a pretty good analogy.
Okay, cool. So we've got the basics. We kind of get how AI works, at least at a high level.
Yeah.
But, it still seems kind of abstract.
Sure.
Can you give me a real world example?
Sure. Think about spam emails, right? The bane of our existence.
Oh, yeah.
So imagine you want to teach AI to spot those pesky spam emails. So you feed it a ton of emails, some marked as spam, some not. And those algorithms, they start analyzing everything, looking for those telltale signs, keywords, sender info, even the structure of the message.
Okay.
And over time, that AI, it gets really good at figuring out what's spam and what's not, just from recognizing those patterns.
Okay, yeah, that's pretty cool. So it's all about pattern recognition and making predictions.
Exactly.
Wow, that's actually pretty impressive.
Yeah.
I think we're getting a pretty good grasp on the fundamentals of AI.
I think so too.
But here's the thing, right? If AI is all about learning from data, isn't it already, like, all around us?
It is. You're interacting with AI every day, probably more than you realize.
Okay. Yeah, now that you mention it, I can think of a few examples, like, those personalized recommendations I get on Netflix or Spotify. That's got to be AI, right?
Well, for sure. And those chatbots that pop up on websites, probably
Right.
AI too.
Yeah, totally. Okay, so AI is not just like some futuristic thing. It's already here.
It's here, and it's changing the game in so many different industries, from healthcare to finance, transportation, you name it.
Okay, whoa. So what does that mean for the future? I mean, are we all going to have robot butlers and flying cars?
Well, maybe someday. But really, the future of AI depends on us. We're the ones shaping its development.
Very true. Okay, so for this deep dive, we're focusing on the AI that's already having an impact.
Precisely.
But I'm super curious to hear more about how it's being used today, like in those different industries you mentioned.
Yeah, let's do it. Why don't we start with healthcare? There's so much happening there.
Okay, perfect. Let's talk healthcare and AI. I'm all ears.
All right, let's dive in.
All right, healthcare and AI. This should be interesting. I mean, I have to admit, I'm a little freaked out by the idea of, like, robots operating on me.
Yeah, that's understandable. I mean, those surgical robots, they are pretty wild. But right now, AI in healthcare, it's mostly focused on things that are less invasive.
Okay.
Like diagnostics. Remember we talked about like pattern recognition? That's
Sure.
like super valuable in healthcare, especially for analyzing medical images like, X-rays, CT scans, MRIs.
Oh, so it's kind of like AI is like a second pair of eyes for radiologists, helping them spot things they might miss.
Exactly. Think about it. Radiologists, they look at like hundreds of images every single day.
Right.
And their brains, they get tired, right?
Yeah.
So AI can help them analyze those images faster and more accurately. It can catch those tiny details that could be like, a sign of an early diagnosis.
Yeah.
Which is huge.
Yeah, that's incredible. Especially like if it can help catch things early, when treatment is more likely to be effective.
Right.
Are there like any real world examples of this happening?
Oh, absolutely. There are AI systems being used to detect all sorts of things like lung cancer in chest x-rays, diabetic retinopathy in eye scans. And, the really cool thing is these systems, they can often spot these things even earlier than human doctors can on their own.
Wow. That's kind of mind-blowing. It's like AI is like this superpowered medical detective working alongside doctors.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, that's diagnostics. But what about like beyond that? What else is AI doing in healthcare?
Well, another really exciting area is personalized medicine. AI can analyze a patient's, their whole medical history, their genetics, their lifestyle, even environmental data, and then use all that info to create a treatment plan that's specifically tailored to them.
Okay, so instead of like a one-size-fits-all approach, AI is helping doctors create treatments that are like super customized.
Exactly. And that could be a game changer for chronic diseases,
Well,
like cancer, diabetes. We could see more effective treatments, better outcomes for patients. It's pretty incredible.
wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
It's like AI is leading us into this like new era of precision medicine.
It really is.
So we've got diagnostics, we've got personalized treatment. You also mentioned drug discovery. How is AI involved in that?
Well, drug discovery, it's traditionally been a super slow and expensive process. But AI is helping to speed things up,
Yeah.
It can analyze huge data sets of molecules and predict which ones might be effective against certain diseases.
So it's like helping scientists narrow down the search.
Exactly. Saving
Yeah.
time, saving money. And, ultimately that means getting those life-saving drugs to patients faster, which is like the whole point, right?
Absolutely. This is all like super exciting. But, part of me wonders, what about the human side of healthcare? I mean, are doctors going to become obsolete?
Well, that's a question a lot of people have, but I think it's important to remember that AI is a tool. It's not meant to replace doctors, but to help them do their jobs even better. Doctors bring so much to the table. Empathy, critical thinking, years of experience. AI can't replicate that. So it's about finding the right balance, combining human expertise with AI's analytical power.
That makes me feel better. I definitely still want a human doctor involved in my care. Okay, so we've talked a lot about healthcare, but, AI is impacting other industries too, right?
Oh, yeah, big time. AI is changing the game in businesses across the board.
I bet. I mean, just thinking about my own life, like online shopping, those personalized recommendations I get are like weirdly accurate. And those chatbots, the ones that pop and answer questions, those are getting better all the time.
You got it. AI is making retail, the whole shopping experience way more personalized and efficient for both customers and businesses.
So it's a win-win.
Absolutely.
But I imagine like AI's impact goes beyond online shopping, right?
For sure. Think about all the data that businesses generate, right?
Yeah.
It's massive. And AI, it can like sift through all that data, find trends, patterns, insights that humans might miss.
So AI is like having like a team of super smart data analysts working 24/7.
Exactly. Helping businesses make smarter decisions about, well, everything. Marketing, product development, supply chains, risk assessment, you name it.
That's incredible. It's like AI is becoming like essential for businesses to like keep up in today's world.
It really is.
So we've talked healthcare, we've talked business. What about other industries?
Well, take transportation, for example. AI is being used to optimize traffic flow, make public transit more efficient, and of course, develop self-driving vehicles.
Oh, right. Self-driving cars. That's like the ultimate futuristic technology, right? Are we like close to seeing those everywhere?
Well, it's a complex challenge, but yeah, the technology is advancing really quickly. We're already seeing self-driving cars being tested in cities all over the world.
That's so cool. But even beyond self-driving cars, it sounds like AI is like making transportation smarter overall.
Oh, absolutely. And it doesn't stop there. Manufacturing, finance, agriculture, AI is being used everywhere. In manufacturing, it's improving efficiency and quality control.
Wow.
In finance, it's helping to detect fraud and assess risk. And in agriculture, it's optimizing crop yields and managing resources.
It's incredible how much AI is already doing. It's like it's quietly revolutionizing every part of our lives, even if we don't always see it.
You're exactly right. AI is often working behind the scenes, powering the technologies we use every day. And as it gets even more sophisticated, its impact is only going to grow.
That's like both exciting and kind of scary, right?
Yeah.
I'm like really curious about what the future holds. I mean, are we talking like flying cars and robot butlers?
Well, those things might be further down the line, but there are some really incredible advancements happening right now. One area that's particularly exciting is robotics. Like AI-powered robots are becoming so much more advanced. They can do all sorts of things now, from assisting with surgeries to like working in dangerous environments.
So robots aren't just for like those repetitive factory jobs anymore.
Exactly. As AI gets smarter, robots are going to get more adaptable, more versatile. They'll be working alongside humans in all kinds of settings, which, raises some interesting questions about the future of work.
Yeah, like are robots going to take all our jobs?
That's a common fear. But I think it's more about like collaboration, AI and robotics. They will definitely automate some tasks, which will lead to shifts in the job market. But, they'll also create new jobs in fields like AI development, data science, robot maintenance.
So it's not necessarily like humans versus robots. It's more like figuring out how to work together effectively.
Precisely. It's about combining the best of both worlds, right? Human creativity, ingenuity, and AI's analytical power.
Okay, that's a good way to look at it. I'm still a little wary of the whole, robots taking over thing. But it sounds like there's a lot of potential for good, too.
Yeah.
Are there any other like emerging trends in AI that you're like particularly excited about?
Oh, absolutely. One area that's generating a ton of buzz right now is quantum computing. It's this revolutionary technology that harnesses the power of quantum mechanics to like do calculations at speeds that are just unimaginable with regular computers.
Okay, so like quantum computing is basically giving AI a massive brain boost.
It's more than that. It's like opening up these whole new dimensions of computational power. With quantum computing, AI could tackle problems that we like never even thought possible before.
Like what kind of problems?
Well, imagine AI that can like design new materials with incredible properties, or develop personalized medical treatments based on like your unique genetic code, or create climate models that are so accurate we can actually predict and mitigate the effects of climate change. I mean, those are just a few examples. The potential is like limitless.
Wow. Okay, that is mind-blowing. This could really change the world.
It really could.
But, with all this talk about AI's potential, we also have to talk about the risks. Right? I mean, what about the ethical implications of all this?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. As AI becomes more powerful, it's more important than ever that we develop it responsibly. We have to think about the potential impact on jobs, on privacy, even the possibility of misuse.
So it's not just about the technology itself, but also about like how we choose to use it
Yeah.
and the safeguards we put in place.
Exactly. We need to have these open and honest conversations about the ethical side of AI, and we need to make sure that its development is guided by like our values as a society.
That's a really good point. And I think that leads us perfectly into the final part of our deep dive. We've talked about what AI is, how it works, where it's being used. Now it's time to tackle the bigger questions.
Yeah.
The why behind it all.
I'm looking forward to that. The philosophical implications of AI are just as fascinating as the technical stuff.
Me too. I'm ready to dive in. Welcome back to the deep dive. We've covered a lot of ground. We've talked about how AI works, the nuts and bolts. We've seen how it's being used like in the real world. And we've even peeked into the future a bit. But now I think it's time to get like philosophical.
Yeah, let's do it.
I mean, AI raises some pretty big questions, right?
Oh, for sure. Big questions about like what it means to be human. You know, what is intelligence really? Consciousness, all that deep stuff.
Exactly. We've seen AI do some pretty amazing things, writing poems, composing music, even diagnosing illnesses.
Mm-hmm.
But does that mean it can actually think?
Yeah.
Can AI be conscious like us?
Well, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And, the guide we've been looking at, it doesn't really give a straight answer. And honestly, I don't think anyone has a definitive answer yet.
Yeah, I mean, we're still trying to figure out human consciousness, right?
Exactly. It's like one of the biggest mysteries out there.
Totally.
So, when it comes to AI consciousness, there's a lot of debate. Some folks, they think that consciousness could emerge from any system that's complex enough. So theoretically, if AI gets super sophisticated, who knows? Maybe consciousness just kind of pops up.
Okay, so it's like complexity equals consciousness.
Well, that's one theory. But, others, they believe that consciousness is something special. Like it's unique to living beings, tied to our biology, the way we evolve.
Right. So we're kind of in the realm of the speculation here.
Definitely.
But let's just say, hypothetically, that AI does become conscious. What then?
Oh, man. That opens up a whole can of worms. Ethically, philosophically, it gets wild.
I bet.
Would a conscious AI have rights? Would we have responsibilities toward it? Would it change, our whole definition of what it means to be alive?
Well, that's a lot to think about. It's kind of like we would be encountering a whole new form of intelligent life, right?
Yeah.
But one that we created.
Exactly. It would totally challenge our understanding of the world and our place in it and, force us to rethink how we interact with, with these potentially conscious machines.
It's pretty mind-blowing when you really think about it. All this talk about consciousness, it also makes me wonder about creativity. I mean, we've seen AI generate art, write stories, even compose music that actually makes you feel something.
Mm-hmm.
But is that real creativity, or is it just a really good imitation?
That's a tough one. Some folks, they say that true creativity has to be original. It can't just be copying patterns from data. It needs that spark, that understanding of emotions, context, culture.
But hold on. Doesn't AI learn from massive amounts of data? Including art, music, literature. I mean, couldn't that lead to new and innovative combinations, even if it's based on existing patterns?
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, even if AI starts by mimicking the sheer volume of data it processes, the complexity of the algorithms, it could lead to these unexpected results, stuff that humans might never have thought of.
So maybe it's not a black and white issue. AI could be pushing the boundaries of what we think of as creative, even if we don't totally get how it's doing it.
I think so, yeah. And as AI gets more advanced, those boundaries are just going to get blurrier and blurrier. It's going to be interesting to see where it goes.
Yeah, definitely. So where does all this leave us? I mean, what's our relationship with AI going to look like in the future? Is it going to be collaborative, competitive? Are we going to see it as a tool, a partner, or even a rival?
Those are the big questions, aren't they? And, there's no easy answers. But I think the most important thing is that we're having these conversations now, that we're thinking about these issues because AI is powerful and it's only going to get more so. So we need to be thoughtful, responsible. We need to make sure that its development is aligned with, our values as a society.
I agree. I mean, we can't just sit back and let AI shape the future without having a say in it.
Exactly. It's our future too.
This has been a really incredible conversation.
Yeah.
I feel AI, it's so much more than just ones and zeros. It's a reflection of us in a way, our creativity, our anxieties about the future, all of that.
I think that's a great way to put it.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, What's the biggest takeaway? What do we want our listeners to walk away with?
I think the key is to remember that AI, it's not just a technology, it's a story. And it's a story that we're all writing together.
Wow, I love that.
Yeah, it's a story about our relationship with machines, about what it means to be intelligent. And ultimately, it's a story about what kind of future we want to create.
Beautifully said. Well, on that note, we've reached the end of our deep dive into the world of AI. We hope this has given you a better understanding of this incredible technology and maybe even inspired you to think about its implications in your own life.
It's been a pleasure joining you on this journey.
Thanks for listening, everyone. Until next time, keep exploring, keep asking those big questions, and most importantly, keep learning.